how the fear of turning 40 changed my life, and the 3 things I have learnt since then that have helped me grow. So turning 40, like most people, I said out loud it was only a number. Doesn't matter, doesn't mean anything. But deep down, knowing that the average life expectancy of a woman is 82 in the UK, my thought was, I'm halfway through my life. What next? I have got 40 years behind me that have all been about joy, growth, new beginnings, the prime of your life as people talk about. But then reaching 40, the next 40 years were about, in my opinion, were about aging, were about your kids leaving home, those that you love, parents, grandparents, other relatives becoming ill or not being around anymore. There's so many things that scared the hell out of me, including my own health as well. You get to a certain point and you start aching more, and illnesses and all that comes with it. So it scared me, and it wasn't until I kind of sat with these thoughts for a while that it made me realise I was a lot more scared about 40 than I ever let on to anybody else. Externally, I looked like I was fine. I was breezing through it. After my 40th, I spent a lot of time pitying myself. I can't believe I've got this far. I've not got a career. The kids are leaving home. I'm not where I wanted to be. So many things affected me, bothered me. It manifested in my relationships with my kids, my husband, my family. I needed more. I needed more clarity, more understanding, more purpose. And that was the thing for me. I needed a purpose, knowing that at some point my kids wouldn't be at home anymore, and I devoted so much of my life to them. I needed a purpose going forward. So after my 40th, I did a lot of work on myself, a lot of self-help books, a lot of podcasts, a lot of journaling. And there are 3 big things that I have learned in that time. There's a lot of things I've learned about myself, about other people, about life. But the 3 big things I've learned that have massively helped me in my mindset are, the first is probably to just let shit go. Be that a thought that comes into your head that you're not good enough, that you can't do something, let it go. It's shit, it's bullshit. The whole issues around limiting beliefs and, the way we are programmed to a certain point, and things that happen to us when we're kids and adolescents and as adults that affect how we think and act and talk and believe, the things we believe about ourselves. So it is just to let those negative thoughts go. There's a lot of ways to do that, be it journaling or through meditation or through coaching, but you just need to let it go. That also involves other people. So if there are people in your life that negative, bring you down, that don't respect your boundaries, that make you feel shit about yourself, they need to go. That you need to let them go. Easier said than done when it comes to family and things, but ultimately for me, my life is happier because I have let certain people go. I feel more energized. I surround myself with people that make me happy and people that I want to be around, people that bring out the best in me. So yeah, for me, let them go. The second thing is understanding and respect. I now look at everything from a different perspective. So if a guy cuts me up on the motorway, for example, used to be one of my triggers, one of my pet peeves. I know it is for a lot of people. I now have an internal dialogue that I have been doing for about a year now, where I'll say to myself, how do I know he's not just had a phone call to say somebody's died, or his wife might be in the car, she might be going into labour. You never know what is going on in somebody's head. Be that a situation where somebody triggers you, be it a situation where somebody says something that annoys you or irritates you, the way that somebody looks at you. There are certain things that we are triggered by, and we are the ones that are triggered. The person that is in that moment, that has done something, said something, looked a certain way, their action has triggered you, and the only thing you can control is your own feelings to that trigger. So I try and find other ways to perceive that situation, which has helped with my anxiety levels, with my tension, and my overall happiness because of it, because I don't let other people's actions affect me as much. There are still times and there are still things that I'm working on that I try and ease off a little bit, but yeah, that's always a big one. And the final one, and this came from a woman I watched on an IGTV she had terminal cancer, and it was the last post she made. And again, it's something that I have to work on every day, but the main message of that video was just to love more. And again, it sounds so cliche, but it's something that we all do, and we take it for granted so much, that we have people around us that we just expect to be there, that we just you expect to wake up and see these people every morning, but what if they weren't? And I know, I don't get me wrong, I don't live my life in this morbid state of, oh, you might die tomorrow, but it's appreciating them, not necessarily saying I love you all the time, because, in the words of various songwriters over the years, it is more than words. I think that was Extreme, More Than Words. That was a good song, that. It is more than words. It is about, spending quality time with people. It is about showing a vested interest in what other people are doing, actively listening to what people are saying to you, rather than something I always used to do was I used to always think about the next thing to say or the next question to ask before they'd even finish talking. And so you're never really listening and absorbing what they're saying and watching the language that they're using with the hands and the body and the facial expressions. So it is actively listening to other people and appreciating what you have. So yeah, they're my 3 things. And there is so many other things I've learned along the way, so many things about myself, about other people, as I mentioned. But for me, turning 40 was the worst pre-40. I think it's the most I've shit myself about, the number of times I've gone round the sun. But in the past 2 years, nearly 2 years, I have learned so much about myself, more than any other year in my life. I think I'm 42. Am I 43 this year? 42. So yeah, for me, just love more. Be more aware of other people's situations and why they might be like they are. Kind of let the shit go. It is a great way to start the journey.